No, it can't be. This is crazy, man. Well, here's another metal detecting video. Today I'm in Asturias and about to head to Columbo. I'm meeting up there with Roberto, who's a historian and has done a study on a Republican airfield that's, well, currently abandoned. And he has managed to get permits to detect in all the fields that made up that old airfield. I'm meeting him there now along with Chicharo and Enrique, two of his aviation specialist colleagues from Barcelona who are joining our research. Let's head over there to Columbo and let Roberto explain the history of this place to us in more detail. Alright, I'm already in Columbo. Let's talk to Roberto first so he can explain exactly where we are and then we'll start searching.
My name is Roberto Pando. I've spent many years researching the Civil War and have long collaborated with the Association of Republican Aviators. My specialty is the Northern Front. Through my connection with the elders of the Association of Republican Aviators, other researchers and I began documenting Republican aviation heritage. I focused mainly on the north as I live near lanes. In that area, as you know, there were many airfields concentrated, and one of them is where we are today, which was a very important airfield, but it went almost unnoticed, the Columbo Airfield. It was the main airfield for Republican aviation, but it was rarely used, because when the enemy entered Asturias, basically they withdrew almost everything they had in Gijón. And what they took out of here was scrap airplanes, what was called the Krone Circus, which was a series of planes that the Republic had bought under the table. Outdated Czechoslovakian models, French, a couple of Russian planes, Chados that they managed to send here and not much else. They were scrap planes. The Lanes airfield was a very bad airfield for Russian planes because it was very small, it was very short, and those planes needed a lot of runway. And that's why they set up this field, which honestly, considering how quickly they built it, was an incredible feat of engineering, because not only did they put up the buildings, but the location of the runway and the drainage they did in the meadows is amazing. I mean, this was a massive project, but it was underused because the airfield could have been operational since '37 in less than a year, and also as a testing ground. Secondary, that's why, because they had to concentrate the planes. Basically, this was a field that was supposed to be an alternative for lanes, but it was never fully completed. As you'll see, with some imagination, you can see the airfield perfectly. The part that was used for the runway is open. It's completely flat without a single puddle, and it could easily be 800 or 900 meters of runway.
And what's this you have back here?
This was the area where the offices and the troops' dormitories were. Over there in that area you have the workshops, and the guardhouse disappeared, as well as an old hangar that started to be built, an underground hangar, which was never going to be finished, and the highway swallowed it up. As an airfield, it's the best preserved Civil War airfield in the north, and I would almost dare to say it's one of the main ones left in Spain in terms of remains.
What's a shame is seeing it so abandoned today. It's now being used as a stable.
As a stable, it belongs to a man, because of course after the war ended, the fields were returned to their owners. Virgilio, you need to look, because a large pipe is acting as a leg, and the floor needs repair.
You're going to stay here sunbathing, huh?
Yeah,
We've just been going all around the airfield with the owner of some of these fields, and he told us that when he was a child, he found a lot of objects related to the Civil War. He told us that he's found everything from anti-aircraft shell casings, weapons, and, well, all sorts of stuff. They're showing us the places that might be interesting to search, and look, I'm going to start here. He told me that there was an ammunition dump here, and in that area, do you see how there's kind of a dip in the ground? He said there was once a road here for bringing ammunition to load planes on the runway. I'm right next to the building Roberto mentioned. The concrete building where the kitchens and the dormitories were for the people who worked here at the airfield is down there. So like I said, I'm going to start here in this area where the ammunition dump is, and let's see what we can find. Let's see if something interesting turns up. Look, the first interesting thing I found, it looks like a copper key, but it's super small and really old. How strange. I'm by the path the locals said was used to move ammunition from the ammunition dump over there to the runway in those fields. This is the first interesting thing I found, but there's a lot of trash here. I'm being as selective as possible since there are wires and debris everywhere, probably from these fields being used for livestock before and after the Civil War. Still, we need to keep searching. As I said, I'll continue as long as I can. About 15 minutes, I don't know, maybe 10 holes dug or something like that. Let's keep at it, man. This is about having patience, you know that. Honestly, the place is amazing and the weather today is spectacular. I don't know if you noticed, but every now and then the detector makes a sound, and that's because it's getting interference from this electric fence we have here. It's on because there's a mare in the field. Honestly, this is a problem, especially with this large detector that's very sensitive to electrical interference, but at least this part of the field seems clearer. This signal is getting mixed up with interference from the electric fence, but just notice it. It's a high-pitched signal and it seems to be very deep. Let's see what it is. This is deep, huh? Let's see. I don't know what it is yet. There are more pieces. Let's see. Damn, man, I have no idea what this is. I don't know. I've mostly put it together, but I'm missing this piece right here. Honestly, I have no idea what it could be. I thought it might be a palm tower, but it has no thread. I have no idea. Maybe I'll ask Roberto if he knows. It turned up really deep in there. I don't know if it has anything to do with the airfield or not, but it's cool, man. This object is interesting. Let's keep searching around this field, and if not, I'll head over to the runway to see what we can find over there. I just came across this kind of threaded piece, and look, it says Viseur à fond something Paris here. I'm going to finish cleaning it and give it to Roberto, who's sitting over there. That way he can check with his phone what it is, because I don't have my phone on me. But this piece is interesting. Maybe it does belong to some plane or something like that. I don't know. I'll finish cleaning and show it. It's driving me crazy. They already gave you beer. Bring us chairs, tomatoes, and peppers. It's aluminum. I don't know. Can you check it there? Yes, sir. I don't know. It's just that somewhere on it, it says it was made in Paris or something. Ah, no. Look for it and see. It's just that it's made of aluminum. I don't know. No, it's aluminum, yes. But it's hand engraved, you know? Yes, engraved. No, I can't believe it. The piece is hand engraved. What could this be? Who do you think owns it? I don't know. If it has a piece, who knows? It's true, man. It's the hammer's blade. I put it here with the trash, you know? It could be an implant from Madrid. No, look, I also have this other piece. I don't know. It looks like something decorative. I have no idea what the hell it could be. Weird thing, man. I didn't notice. I took it out thinking it was trash, but we just saw it's hand engraved with the leaf and hammer. Yeah, made by hand. Damn. Here comes the party who engraved it. That's crazy. Maybe it could be a plate, maybe. I don't know anymore. It could be a plate. Damn, but this is amazing, huh? I just blew your mind. A piece I took out like it was scrap metal. Roberto took it and we saw that it has the leaf and the hammer engraved on it, and I had thrown it away as trash. I have the metal detector and we'll keep searching this area where I found that object. Let's see if anything else turns up. Alright, I found something with letters here. It was a strong signal, but since I'm recording so much junk today, I'm hardly recording the signals. Check it out. I don't know what it is, but I'll clean it for a moment so we can check if we can figure out what it says. I hope it's part of a plane. I don't know. No, don't mess with me. I think I already know what it is. Look, it says Marlboro there. I think it's a cowboy and some bulls, but I'm not sure. It must be a belt buckle, I think, because it has a bump here, like for hooking the leather. Wow, that's wild. I don't think it's related to war, but I got excited for a second thinking it was a military buckle. Like I said, we have to be patient. Let's keep looking. I think we're going to stop to eat in a bit. Let's see if I have time to check this whole part of the field before we stop for lunch. Then we'll get in the pool. Wait, there's no buckle. No. We've already stopped to eat, and this is the second aluminum tube like this I found. Maybe it belonged to an airplane? It's odd to see aluminum tubes like these in the countryside. I don't know. I'll ask Roberto later. I'll keep searching. I have a couple hours left and haven't finished this field. Like I said, there's a little piece left. I probably won't finish checking everything today. I hope I can come tomorrow to take a look, but let's see if we can find anything else today. Another morning here. Let's spend a few hours on it today. Here's some of what we found yesterday while Mr. Estilo and I were searching. Today, Alvaro is out searching with the AT Pro, and that's everything that turned up yesterday. That's probably the most interesting piece.
I think it was a plate. They must have engraved it with a hammer and sickle.
You were asking me why? Why could that appear here?
Because this airfield is one of the only remaining examples of Soviet military rationalism in the north, so this field was built by the Russians. In fact, if you see that this field drains quite well, it's because they built some channels to guide the streams toward the river so that this field would stay dry.
Did the Soviets help build this whole airfield?
That's for sure. Nothing else is known. It's known because the main squadrons stationed to the north are always commanded by Soviets. In 38 and 37, that's when the Russian planes started to arrive, and they came with Russian crews. Until they formed the first generation of Spanish aviators, they were basically crewed by Russians.
Ah, look, they cleaned it up and tried to improve it. What amazes me is that this piece is entirely handmade.
Surely this was engraved by hand, that's clear.
Impressive, right? Can we make it cleaner?
This is probably the most important thing, but maybe it looked like the tubes you mentioned. Does it come from these?
This is definitely from a plane.
It's from a plane, huh? For sure. Of course, I saw it myself, of course, in the aluminum tube.
No, they're lines for
Fuel.
or oil, these airplane remains.
And well, you, Enrique, know quite a bit about airplanes. I mean, a little bit.
A little. This lock, for example, yes?
Look, this is interesting. This lock was found by Chicharo, and look what I found. Look, it fits here perfectly.
Look, here's one side.
This is the lock from an airplane window, right?
It could be.
If you look at it from the side, for a lock from that era, it's very flat. Yeah. It doesn't have a very big case.
And then you were also telling me that these were airplane parts. All of this is aluminum, which I also found. That's right.
That it's from a plane. This is from a plane, some French ones.
You guys who can't detect will have fun cleaning and identifying these pieces. We need a rag. I'm sure someone here has one. Let's see if he can identify the cartridges.
Interesting to see if they are.
They're small cartridges.
I've left those two cleaning parts and will start searching the field myself. This is the area I was in yesterday where I found aluminum tubes said to be from a plane along with other aluminum parts. So I imagine that this area, since we're right next to the aerodrome building, was probably used to dismantle or repair planes or something like that. Also, look at this. There's a water well here. Well, now it's full of trash, but I guess the people who worked here at the aerodrome used it to get water. Yeah, I'm going to start searching around here and then I'll take a look in front of the building, but it's all muddy, man, and I want to leave that for last because I'm going to get all dirty. Let's begin here, where I found the most interesting pieces yesterday, and see what we find today. First signal of the day, an 88. Let's see what this is. It's deeper. Let's see. It's awesome. No, it can't be. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. A cob coin here, dude? Nah, this doesn't make any damn sense, does it? This is incredible. I'm freaking out, man. A cob coin here in the middle of nowhere, man. Look, it's also in really good condition. This is crazy. I'm going to show it to these guys because they're going to freak out. Wait, I'm going to show it to you, man. You're going to freak out. What he's about to say is crazy and makes no sense. Look, a silver cob coin, man. What? I swear, right there. A what? A cob coin. What's a cob coin? A silver coin. It's hammered. Most likely from Mexico, man, because these weren't minted in Spain. What's up? Yeah.
A lot of people pass through here, it's true.
It must be a real. I never expected to find one here, honestly. It's so rare to see one in Spain.
This is a colonial coin?
The coin. Yeah, it's really rare.
The silver from Mexico was minted with hammers. I went with one of them to school in Mexico.
Where is it? Where does it say 1685, uncle? How are you? 1685. The date is on this side, uncle. 1685. As I said, I don't know much about macuquinas, but you can identify them by their marks, yes. Ha! What a wild thing, man. Like I said, unrelated to the airfield, but really interesting. Look at this. Pretty deep. Who knows what else is out here? This field is huge. Alvaro is searching over there, crouched down. Maybe with more of us detecting today, we'll find something interesting. I mainly want to find another piece of the plane. We'll see if it's possible. Look, another piece of aluminum. We've gone onto the runway. There's the building where Roberto is cleaning things up, and pieces of aluminum are showing up. I have the feeling that, as I explained to you yesterday, if the ammo dump was up there, they must have left the planes around here to arm them, to load them with bombs and machine gun ammunition and everything. That's what I imagine anyway. Alvaro is over there looking too. So, I don't know. Let's see if something else shows up. I found another little piece of aluminum back there. The thing is, this field is pretty flooded and it's tough to finish here, but oh well. Another coin here, look. I think it's 10 cents from the provisional government. Alvaro also told me he found something there. Well, wait, let's see what it is. What did you find?
What is that? No idea. It looks good, huh?
I don't know anymore, but it's copper, right?
Yeah, it's good material, but I don't know.
I found a 10-cent coin, man. That's crazy. And there are more pieces?
I was looking, I got 2 signals. Let's see if there are more.
It's because this is so waterlogged.
You lift the soil and it's like a layer forms right underneath too. Of course, on top it's relatively dry, yes.
That's all. I don't know if we should move to another area or what.
I'd give it a bit more around here, you know?
Alright, fine. Roberto is here too. I'm telling you, there are a lot fewer signals here on the runway than where we were before, near the well. Anyway, let's hope we find part of the plane, which is what we're after. Alvaro, look at this weird thing. Is it a coin, a button, or what? It's really poorly made, man. Look how rough and messed up the edges are.
Damn, there's nothing on it.
No, it says 1. It's a 1. And it says S down there. That doesn't look like a coin to me. I don't know. Does it have anything to do with the airfield? No, man. It's weird as hell. Let's take another little walk and then let's eat, okay? What time is it?
Very late, lunchtime.
That's where the locals sunbathe. Damn. On my way back to eat, look what I found here, huh? Another part of that plate where we engraved the leaf and hammer is pretty far from where I found the others, which was by the tree. How strange. Who knows what this was? This does look like a plate, but I don't really know, honestly. I'm going to eat now, and then we'll see if there's time to keep detecting, since Rick and Robert need to go to the airport for their flight to Barcelona.
They don't have this, but it's exactly what you see here.
This is getting surreal, isn't it? Check this out. I've been walking from over there. The idea was to go to the beginning. Well, the beginning or the end of the runway, because the planes either came in through here or from the valley you see back there. Check out the sign I found here, man. Half buried, dude. Another silver coin. I swear it is, right? This is crazy, man. Seriously, this is insane. Look, a Carolus, man. A Carolus from 1775. Wow, this is amazing. I mean, look at it. It's perfect, man. It's incredible how beautiful this coin is. I'm amazed, dude. Like I said, this probably doesn't have much to do with the airfield, but it's interesting. Like I was saying before, these fields must have been used for farming and livestock for many years, so it's normal to find these coins that people lost while passing through here. I'm going to keep it here. This is incredible, man. Let's cover up this hole and keep going, well, all the way to the end. Right where that house is, that's where the runway ended. Let's see if we can get there. And who knows, maybe we'll find something else. So far, 2 silver coins, man. I can't believe it, dude. I mean, haha. There are so many coins here, but no airplane parts. Seriously, so many coins. I just gave 3 to the guy from the house. Where were they from? Just from the provisional government, but look, I found another silver one, man.
He was amazed, right?
I found this silver one, man. With arrows. And I don't know, counter marks and 1700. It might be something.
75, yes.
Half a real, I think it is. Super hard. 2 silver coins today, man. It makes no sense. It's packed here, huh? This map belongs to Roberto. It's from that guy who has an awesome house here, man.
And did he let you? Yes.
Yeah. Damn, no problem, man. But it's really deep.
Huh? Yeah, it's crazy, dude, but it's cool, right?
Is it silver or aluminum?
What is it? I think it's silver, right? It was beeping near 90. Look, maybe we can see what it says here.
No, it's silver, since aluminum would corrode.
With the coins. Silver. Is it a heart?
No.
From Jesus Corazon, yes, heart.
Heart of Jesus.
Yes, Heart of Jesus. Let's see.
Let me see for a moment.
And does it have anything else on the back? Damn, man, it's really deep, huh? And didn't yours beep on something there?
It was giving me a weak signal, but it must have already turned by the time I dug the first plug.
I put it in there.
I like it, man.
It's really cool, huh?
This place is packed with stuff, man.
But there's a ton here, man.
Yeah, but there's no sign of the plane. Another coin, or what is this? Yeah, I think it's another Maravity, but this one's really messed up, huh? Damn. So many coins are showing up here. I've already given 4 or 5 to the old guy from the house. Just take 2 steps and you find one. What I was hoping was that, being here at the end of the runway, the theory is that if any planes crashed in the area, they'd have hit here. Well, let's keep going a bit more. We should head back soon before we lose daylight. Nope. Damn, that's awesome, man.
Beautiful. That one's tough. It usually breaks.
Yeah, I mean from a belt, I guess.
Yeah, but it's old, huh?
It's cool that it was military, huh?
Yeah, right? It should be cleaned better, but it doesn't look like it, huh?
It's a hammer.
Yeah, huh?
Was it that deep? Seriously?
Yeah, it was down there. Damn.
Is this it?
Look at that bell.
A bell? Look at this beautiful bell.
Ah, damn.
Pretty big, huh?
Damn. It still has the clapper, I think.
I need to clean it, but it's really cool and pretty. I've never found one this big.
It's cool, man. Awesome. There's interference from this electric fence, so be careful. It's probably connected. Yeah. This is weird. There must be a missing piece, but it's a strange piece of copper. I need to clean it well. It looks like leaves or something, but I have no idea what it is. We're already heading back because they're waiting for us to leave, so I guess I'll show you everything I found today when we get home and I'll explain what we're going to do with all of it. How's it going, Pachu? What's up? How are you? How are you doing? Well, it's been quite a few months since we were there at Columna digging at the airfield. I've come with Roberto to the Cueto Museum to hand over the pieces. Roberto, I discovered some things about the pieces that will blow your mind. It's been so many months I barely remember what we found. I'm amazed by how many new things are in the museum now. There's a diorama and they're organizing pieces. Check this out, guys. A diorama depicts a Republican outpost at Cerro Coaviedo in 1937. It's incredible. Let's wait for them to finish setting up and I'll show you. You're going to be amazed. Let's go. We have only a few pieces here since Roberto still has some unidentified items. Roberto, let's discuss what you've identified so far.
Okay, well, let's see. This piece is a starter handle built in Paris. Manufactured in Paris, which is used in high-performance airplanes. It was very typical from the 1920s, from the early 1920s. One of the airplanes it was used in, and it's almost certain, is the Potes 25, because we found a photograph where this type of handle, which was for the starter, appears there.
That also turned up right next to these aluminum tubes, which are also from an airplane, right? From the same airplane, they're from the Potes as well.
So we've determined that everything suggests it's a Potes 25 or a similar plane. The fuel and oil lines are typical, though the Potes had an inline, not a radial engine if I recall correctly, but this exhaust...
I thought it was from an airplane, but Roberto found out it's actually from an exhaust pipe, right?
Exhaust pipe from an airplane engine. And specifically...
from the same plane, from the Potes.
Check out this part. It's a Potes 25. Do you see that there are 2 identical pieces at the bottom? Well, they really look like those tubes. And then the fuel tubes, and if you look at this whole structure, which comes from the Potes, it was a plane made entirely of fabric. Yes, everything that is the cowling and the engine part, and the usual for the nose.
That's essential.
Of course, these could be the aluminum parts we find, parts of the airplane's frame.
Exactly. From the cowling, the engine, the edges of the seating area, or the machine gun. If you look, this part of the machine gun is...
They all seem to be from the same plane, right? Of course.
The thing is, you have to try to document this.
Because besides, those Potes planes took off from that airfield.
Airfield, exactly. The Colunga airfield was the base. These planes belonged to a Republican squadron which gathered a bunch of all the outdated planes they found around, and they were called the Serco Krone. And there were Polish, Czechoslovakian, French planes, all kinds, even some German ones.
All the scrap that...
all the scrap they could
buy...
because of the blockade.
There was an explanation. The circochrone was very well known during the Second Republic. I don't know if during Primo de Rivera, already in the 1920s, if you look at the newspapers from Gijón, from Oviedo, but the circochrone was a point of reference. There were several others. And if it was a German or Central European circus that came...
I believe the circus was based in Madrid.
And naturally, routes were everywhere.
And it was super well known.
And about, well, my favorite piece, which is this one. More pieces.
This one, than what we have here on record.
Well, that's true. Well, first the cartridges, of course. Were you able to find out if any cartridge belongs to any plane?
There are some very unusual cartridges.
We can say they're rifle caliber and that the planes had rifle caliber defensive armament. We'll figure it out with time. It's just a matter of investigating. There were some really unusual models, honestly. There was such a wide variety of rifles, as you can see there.
Especially on the Republican side, right? Well, and for me, my favorite piece, which is this one. And for me, yes. And I did remember that I had found this, Roberto, man. This is awesome.
It seems like some soldier dedicated himself to doing what is called trench art. It was very common to do it with shells, but this, suddenly we found it here. Keep in mind that the Communist Party was very involved in the Republican Air Force, and here we have a hammer and sickle. If we put the pieces together, we see these missing cutouts fit here, connecting this and the box.
Yes, the box, if we can place it, you can clearly see the silhouettes of airplanes cut out. Yes.
There are several silhouettes. Yes, I think this piece fits best.
Yes, that's right. It's nearly ready.
A piece is missing.
Yes, but look, it wants... There's a fragment missing here, yes. Look, it wants to fit, right? And if you look, there's another one here too, right? Yes, there's another one, but this one doesn't fit. This one is like engraved.
Yes, another one below.
This one is engraved, and that's true. Then...
Wow, down here you've got another one?
And here's another example. None of these shots are... I'm not sure if... But yes, the hammer and sickle of the Communist Party, since as the war continues, the Communist Party of Spain gains more strength. Why? It controlled shipments from the Soviet Union, especially those for aviation, which played a crucial role in the war. So, in the north, for example, there are documented Russian pilots, or Soviet pilots, right? Better said. Yes, yes, yes. There are documented Russian mechanics and armorers, logically from the Communist Party, specifically the PQ in this case.
Then there were many young pilots from the first class who trained here.
Trained in the...
Specifically in training to fly Chatos, Moscas, and Katyuskas.
This trench art was common in the Civil War. Are there more examples of it in the museum?
Later, if you want, we can record it. We have good examples, some good ones from France after the First World War. We also have examples from Spain. There are fewer examples, but trench art from Spain also exists and fits with this.
What surprises me a bit about the trench topic is that I knew about trench art from the Army, even from the Navy, but I'd never seen any from aviation.
I get why ground forces and artillerymen have artillery shell casings, but why wouldn't aviation have them too?
Well, once again, quite a few months have passed since I filmed what you just saw. I'm editing it right now. That day I left the museum really late. You already know that Pachu starts talking about topics from the Civil War and there's no stopping him, and Roberto is the same way. I think we left there around 1 in the morning. The museum is great. Every time I go, they have new things. If you don't know it, I'll put a link in the video description to schedule a visit and see all the pieces we've left there. The coins and all the other objects that weren't directly related to the airfield have been deposited by Roberto at the Columbo Ethnographic Museum. You can also go see them there if you want. What I wanted to tell you is the following. There's a reason why it took me so long to edit this video, and that's because I wanted Roberto's study for the magazine Discovering Treasures to be published before releasing it, about the history of the airfield and the investigations we carried out during the days we were filming there. The study is available in issue 6 of the magazine, completely free and open access online. I'll leave the link in the description as well. And I'm going to take this opportunity to mention something that has left me perplexed. Let's see what you think. We carried out the study of the airfield completely free of charge and selflessly, sharing each finding openly so that anyone can know about it and enjoy it. For example, archaeologist Esperanza Martin, who many of you may know from her appearances on the channel, receives public funding, yet her results remain inaccessible. When I asked to consult them for my research project, I was told they were protected by intellectual property and restricted to the private sphere. I repeat, everyone funds those reports and excavations. How can they be locked away for the benefit of just a few? I only got a favorable ruling through a Freedom of Information request, and I was finally able to access those documents, which should have been public from day one. And I don't want to give too much away, but I'm preparing a much longer video on this topic, very much in the style of the one I made years ago to continue exposing the archaeological mafia operating in this region. That's it! Hope you enjoyed the video and learned something. Check out the magazine article for more on the event, airfield history, and discovered pieces. See you next Friday!